All right, here's the whole solar dehydrator setup. It's just as important as root cellars, maybe more so. Our goal is to be able to run it all year long. We want to be filling it up with whatever's in season anywhere that we produce, that we can buy cheaply, and we wanted to hydrate it. So here it is. First of all, its primary heating mechanism is evacuated tube solar hot water heaters placed downslope to the east with south exposure as well, at least. And that's going to always then run the water up because hot water goes up into the building's thermal mass where we have PEX tubing. And at the end of the PEX tubing, we have spots to hook on more things that radiate. And by the time the water goes out of that and back into the solar hot water heater, it should be cold. In other words, we're heat transferring all of the heat into the thermal mass of the building. Even if there are disruptions, and it's a super insulated building, it's straw bale. We'll say straw bale, okay? Straw bale is nice because it also absorbs moisture. Although we could resin it so that there's no dust. I don't want dust in there. It could be concrete with cob and straw bale on the outside of it. And we could build it so that we can remodel it a little bit. The point is, we have to do a little experimentation to see what temperature we can get up to with what amount of solar evacuated tube solar hot water heaters. That's pretty great, and that might work. That's the ideal. Now, we could do things like have a small solar panel system with a just, barely a battery that all it does is run a fan blowing the cold air of night. Okay? As soon as it's cold out, we blow cold air into there through the heated stuff, ideally. So it could be through floor vents. We want to run it by the thermal mass, perhaps in a convoluted way, so that that coldest of air we have available, and it's available every damn night, is going through the thing we've been heating up all day. That fan would be fantastic. And we could have a humidity logger and a temperature logger where we can get it at exactly the right temperature and humidity to dry those stuff out as fast as possible. So there's some sensors and electronics. It's interesting to note that we don't have to have those technological systems on subsequent ones that we build. Or we can have spots where we can put them in and then take them out for testing, and to prove to people what's going on. But the point is, if we build it right once and we measure it really well for this climate at least, then we can prove that this thing can produce every single couple days, just like freeze drying, really quickly drying things out. We can become experts on solar dehydrating. I should reread my book on that with this design in mind. I can't think of another human use for such a dry place. I guess we could use it to dry laundry. And we could set up a different system just for drying laundry if we had enough people doing laundry. Because sometimes in the rainy season it doesn't dry, just in the sun. Also, the sun is so powerful here that the solar radiation can discolor your clothing. I've seen it many times. And so drying in the direct sun is actually not that great. And a solar dehydrator like this, you could have just racks where you can hang clothes, and you could hang them pretty densely. And all day and night, hang them pretty densely, and all day and night, those clothes would be drying out, and they would be dry as anything in no time at all, especially because this thing's operating at night. Once we've proven that works, We build one in Yotatiro or in Aronga, somewhere where it's easy to get supplies, you know? Maybe we go crazy, and if we ever have an outpost in Zacapu or a place near Mercado de Abastos, maybe we build one in a place like that. Maybe we build a portable one. I don't know. That's in a truck, you know? It'll be a little weird. I guess you could use water for your thermal mass so you don't have to drive it around. But how handy would that be if you had a truck, you know, that had inside of it this solar hot water heater, and you could drive to a place. You could pull the solar hot water heater out so it gets southeastern light is ideal to get that guy heated up in the morning if it cooled off at all. And have racks inside that you can, right there, you know, maybe have a little tent outside or pop up. And you can right there process all your stuff, dry it out, and package it a little bit or put it in something, you know, a bin or something. And then drive back with a colossally huge amount, by comparison, of fruits and veggies that you have on site processed and can then make all kinds of other stuff with. It might even be worth it to like dehydrate onions. They become nothing. I mean, you could have a truckload of onions in a couple of bins and a truckload of mangoes in a couple of bins, all being made without any energy, especially when you're reliably in the dry season or the non-rainy season. It's less cloudy, right? That's a pretty brilliant idea. And then you come back with a product that, you know, you can use yourself. It's a survival food. You can sell it. You can make things with it. So you could have a restaurant. That's a whole other topic. But I guess, you know, let's think about expanding the solar dehydrator room beyond what I'm just thinking about it, but into other communities around here, and even imagining a truck level one, super insulated. You could buy a refrigerated truck, for example, so it wouldn't cool down very quick. And then on the bottom of it, you could have tanks that you could fill with water and then close so it's sealed. Might want a pressure valve on that. And then the tubing comes into the truck, runs through the water things, heating them up. And then you have your fans that blow air past those hot things and then out the top or from the top to the bottom or whatever it is. And then you stay there for a couple days maybe until you fill up enough bins that you can stack them up and they're full now. And then you pull your solar hot water heater back in and you drive back, having spent a couple days in the town maybe. Maybe with somebody keeping an eye on the truck, you know. And that'd be pretty amazing. Could even leave the solar hot water heater there. Although, you know, you could borrow it from somebody or something. And this would save on the massive amounts of gasoline that is used to transport things that are mostly water. I mean, people drive watermelon up. From other places, far away. And watermelon barely has any food in it. You know? Can you imagine dehydrated watermelon? It would reduce to almost nothing. It's mostly water, by definition. And so are a lot of other fruits.